All power belongs to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, one sounds right, actually.
Jazakallah khairan, the MC. The next on the agenda here is the opening recitation from the Holy Quran, and that will be done by Brother Al-Hafiz Abibullah Shoyinka. So, Bismillah, فليتفضل.
جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. You can proceed, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نون والقلم وما يسطرون. ما أنت بنعمة ربك بمجنون. وإن لك لأجرا غير ممنون. وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. فستبصر ويبصرون. بأيكم المفتون. إن ربك هو أعلم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم مهتدين. فلا تطع المكذبين. ودوا لو تدهن فيدهنون. ولا تطع كل حلاف مهين هماز مشاء بنميم. هماز مشاء بنميم مناع للخير معتد أثيم. عتل بعد ذلك زنيم. أن كان ذا مال وبنين. إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا أساطير الأولين. Meaning, in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, by the inkstand, and by the pen, and by that which they write. Thou art not, by the grace of thy Lord, a madman, and for thee most surely there is an unending reward. And thou dost surely possess high moral excellence, and thou wilt soon see, and they too will see, and they too will see. Which of you is afflicted with madness? Surely thy Lord knows best those who go astray from his way, and he knows best those who follow guidance. So comply not with the wishes of those who reject the truth. They wish that thou shouldest be compliant, so they may also be compliant. And yield not to any mean swearer, backbiter, one who goes about slandering, forbidder of good, transgressor, sinful, ill-mannered, and in addition to that, of doubtful birth. This is because he possesses riches and children. When our signs are recited unto him, he says, stories of the Asians. اللهم شرفنا بشرفة القرآن. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خيرا, Brother Habibullah Shoyinka. May Almighty Allah continue to increase you in knowledge and escalate you in understanding. Ameen. So the next is chanting of Qasida, and that will be done by Brother Sulaiman Abdul Ghani. So Brother Sulaiman, Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هذه قصيدة من قصائد معزز جماعة الأحمدية حضرة مرزا غلام أحمد في مدح خاتم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا ربي صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. يا ربي صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. لا شك أن محمدا خير الورى رفيق الكرام ونخبة الأعيان. يا ربي صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. تمت عليه صفات كل مزية ختمت به نعماء كل زمان. يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. والله إن محمدا كردافة وبه الوصول بسؤدة السلطان. يا ربي صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. هو فخر كل مطهر ومقدس وبه يباهي العسكر الروحاني. يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. هو خير كل مقرب متقدم والفضل بالخيرات لا بزمان. يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. والطل قد يبدو الأمام الوابل فالطل طل ليس كالتهتان يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث فاني بطل وحيد لا تطيش سآمه ذو مسميات موبق الشيطان يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه دنيا وبعث ثاني هو جنة إني أرى أثماره وقطوفه قد ذللت لجناني يا رب بصل على نبيك دائما في هذه دنيا وبعث ثاني ألفيته بحر الحقائق والهدى ورأيته كالدر في اللمعان يا رب بصل على نبيك دائما في هذه دنيا وبعث ثاني يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني يا رب صل على نبيك دائما في هذه الدنيا وبعث ثاني. Meaning, without any doubt, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best of the best, a man of extreme generosity, the soul and strength of the nobles, the elect among the elect. All noble virtues culminated in his person. The blessings of all time reached their apex in him. By God, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the vicegerent of God, and through him alone can one reach the royal court of God. He is the pride of the pious, the holiest. He is the pride of the spiritual legion of men of virtue. He excels all those who are close to God. Indeed, excellence is a matter of noble deed and not limited to time. Reflect, the drizzle precedes the evil rain, the ever rain. Yet drizzle is drizzle and rain is rain. He is unchallenged archer. His arrows do not miss the target. They are dead set on killing Satan. He is the garden, and I see that its fruit and clusters have been brought within the easy reach of my heart. I found him to be an ocean of truth and guidance. I found him to be a pearl of luster and light. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for the beautiful rendition of the Qasida of Hazrat Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. May Almighty Allah continue to be our helper. Ameen. Now the next thing is the opening prayer. So let us all recite Surah Al-Fatiha and Salatu ala Nabi. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع الدعاء. Ameen. Now, so the next thing is the welcome address by the AMSA president in person of Mr. Tayyib Alawadi. So the AMSA president, you have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All praises and adoration belongs to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has made today's program achievable. So I seek Allah's peace and blessings on the noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his household. First of all, I would like to welcome the chairman of today's program in person of the Southern Majlis Program Ahmadiyya Nigeria, Brother Abdurraqib, ably represented by Umar Talaba Majlis Program Ahmadiyya, Brother Shuyoye Idris. Also, our beloved father, Vice Badru, the Tabik Secretary of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Nigeria. You are highly welcome, sir. We also have Dr. Taufik Lawal, the senior lecturer at Ibarapa Polytechnic. The guest lecturer of today, our beloved father, who happens to be one of the pioneer of AMSA Nigeria, the person of Dr. Oluretimi, Said Oluretimi Sahib. I pray also Muallim Abbas Agbaji Sahib. I welcome you all to this beautiful program. Thank you for honoring our invitation, sir. Jazakumullahu khairan ahsan jazak. On today's program, topic Write with Me was organized in order to upgrade the level of our writings as students on campuses. Because writing is beyond copy notes, projects, writing, another way of taken from other resources that has been prepared. So we plan this program, organize this program in order to bring out or lead out the potentiality of writing academically and spiritually in every member of AMSA. Also, as we all know that our motto is help in the cause of Allah. In tansurullah yansurukum. Help in the cause of Allah, so you'll be helped. And our slogan for this to assist this motto is jihadist of the pen. Fine. If AMSA's slogan is jihadist of the pen, then what will make this achievable is having the basic knowledge or principal knowledge of writing. At this point in time, I will celebrate AMSA at 40. It is very, very bad if we couldn't find as many as possible AMSA members on campuses writing from their rationale. I mean, in assisting their cognitive domain. That's a very bad record. So that is why AMSA Nigeria, we intended to organize this kind of program and invite one of the erudite scholars in our midst who can give a better justice to this topic in person of Dr. Olurotimit Sahib. And I believe, inshallah Rahman, we are going to enjoy it better than you expected. Lastly, we should all pay a rapid attention to this program. Take your pen and notes, jot down the points, because the beauty of this program is that after this program, it's the beauty of it is to see the potentialities of writing, because among us there are so many people among us that have the potentiality to write, but the fact that they do not even understand how the way, the skills, the steps to take, this has killed that potentiality in them. So now AMSA is bringing out in this potentiality in you. This will assist our own career and likewise our spiritual level, because we are meant to fight for Islam by the use of the pen and not with violence. And I pray to Almighty Allah that Almighty Allah to assist the lecturer in order to deliver the lecture to our own understanding, to our best understanding, and may He make this a source of blessing to every one of us. I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, Brother Tayyib Alawadi, for the welcome address. And the next thing is going to be the chairman's opening address. Okay, so I think they want to take this. All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So the distinguished special guest, presence of before that, I was in that there's going to be an introduction. So the MC, please do that first.
Yeah,
Introduction.
Jazakumullah khairan, sir.
Yeah.
Jazakumullah khairan. So while the president's welcome address was ongoing, our special guest joined, the person of Malim Abbas Agbaje. So he's the chairman of MESQ Nigeria. So please, if you are with us, please say salam to the house, sir.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
Wa alaikum
assalam
assalam wa
wa
rahmatullahi wa
rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh.
barakatuh. You're
Yeah,
welcome,
thank you
sir.
very much for joining, sir. Yeah, please proceed, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, jazakallah khairan. Now, so a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The distinguished special guest, starting from in no particular order, starting from Malim Abbas Agbadi, the chairman, Madi Sultan Koda, Nigeria. Also, Barrister Muhammad Bashir Badru, the National Tabligh Secretary of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Nigeria. And we have Mu'alim Tawhid Shuboyede, a senior missionary of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Nigeria. Dr. Taufik Lawal, a senior lecturer, the Barapa Polytechnic Irua. And our distinguished lecturer for today, in person of Dr. Saeed Olurotimitimeyi. I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to each and every one of us. First of all, the Sada Asab, in person of Brother Barakib Akinyemisai, asked me to tender his unreserved apology to each and every one of us because he has a program also at Ilaru that he won't be able to come. And also, he asked me to commend the AMSA members for bringing on different kind of programs in commemoration of their 40th anniversary. He said, may Almighty Allah continue to strengthen each and every one of us, and may He continue to be our guide and God. Amen. As far as the particular topic is concerned, when we talk about the right with me, well, what came to my mind actually is one of the reasons why Hazrat Muhammad alayhi salam was named, or Allah called him Sultan Koda. In fact, if you look at the page 333 of Tazkirah, where he was also called Zulfaqar of Ali. Well, this actually has a very deep, meaning and understanding as far as writing is concerned. As far as writing is concerned, in the secular world and even in the religious world that we find ourselves. So it's a known fact that in the time past we use sword and everything, even in the time past, based on some narrations from the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can actually see that we had people who Allah has bestowed upon the power of tongue. And we have people who also are very good with their pen too, even during the era of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also, the war that we were told they fought was more of defensive war. Now, looking at today's era, there is no need for war again. You see, opponents of Islam, the opponents of Ahmadiyya, they will write a lot of things. They say a lot of things about us that are negative. So it is, it behooves us that we respond in like manner. And when we are responding, we should respond in such a way that by the time they hear or they read our responses, they will be unable to reply back, because that's what Allah has actually bestowed on Prophet Hazrat Muhammad alayhi salam is showing, and it should also show in us that are the follower of Hazrat Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, if we also look at it in some aspect, you find out that there's virtually no, I'm also in the education sector. There's virtually no course or there's nothing you want to study that you'll not be required to write. You are actually going to write. So if you are going to write, so it's something that you can't run away from. So sometimes you find out that there's some, please kindly mute your mic. Who is this person? Please mute your mic, please. So we find out that at the end of the day, we just cannot but write. We just have to write. If you are in mass communication, you must write. Any course you're actually doing, you just have to write. So which tells you the importance of writing in our environment or in the world we find ourselves today. So sometimes you find some people when they speak, they have this very loquacious tongue, and they speak and you enjoy the way they speak. But when you see them, when they write, it's very difficult. So you want to, try to place their writing with how they speak, and you find out that there's no balance there. So it's also telling us that before we are able to write, there are some certain things, there are some certain criteria we need to put in place. So I don't want to over-labor it, because I know our amiable Dr. Sir will do justice to this very particular topic. Will tell us what is expected of us, and for basic, will tell us what is expected of us and how we are able to go about, how we are going to go about it. And inshallah, I want to believe this is going to yield a very good result. So, and I pray may Almighty Allah enable us to get the benefits of this particular program, and then may He also help us to be able to write convincingly. And when people read our writings, they'll be able to they'll get the message across. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع الدعاء امين جزاك الله خيرا احسن الجزاء السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
All right, Assalamualaikum to Dr. Sahib. Yeah, so thank you. Please say salam to the AMSA. Dr. Sahid Timain. So thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your presence. So please say salam to the house for them to be aware of your presence. Yeah, wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan, sir. So bismillah, sir. The next program is the lecture proper. So to be delivered by our amiable Dr. Sab. So bismillah.
Are you sure that's the next?
Yes, sir. That is it, sir.
Okay.
Yes, bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Write with me. That is the theme, and it's about basic writing skills. There are some, okay, alhamdulillah, it's being shared now. Over the years, we have listened to complaints coming from different quarters, particularly among students who are expected ordinarily to read and write at all times. One will naturally not expect a student to say, I can't write, because you write exams, you write tests, and you do a lot of writing at the interpersonal level. But still, when a student is confronted with the task of writing, everybody develops cold feet. It is because of this that it becomes very necessary to reflect together on the techniques of writing. Everybody, everyone can write, regardless of the language. If you are a user of language, you should be able to write. And as the Arabs will say, إِذَا لَمْ تَكْتُبِ الْيَدْ فَهِيَ رِجْلٌ. When a hand does not write, it becomes a feet. It becomes a foot or a leg. It's writing is prescribed by Allah Himself. In fact, the Prophet Islam is reported to have said that the first thing Allah created was the pen. And what do we do? The Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu is reported to have said that the first thing Allah created was the pen. And what do we do with the pen? We write with it. It's the basic writing tool. If Allah created the pen and He has created this for a purpose, and He says, "Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam, allama bil qalam." It taught by the pen. It taught by the pen. That's the pointer to the fact that every one of us, everybody must learn how to use the pen. Everybody must learn. So it becomes strange when a student says, I can't write. This is somebody who writes tests, who writes exams, who writes letters, who constructs messages at the interpersonal level at all times. And you are now asked to write, you say, I can't write. It is rather strange. And it will be more strange when you hear an Ahmadi student saying, I can't write. Why? This is because Ahmadis are the disciples or the followers of the Sultan al-Qalam. We are the followers of the king of the pen, the only person ordained by the divine in the later days to champion the spread of the truth by the pen. So all of us are his foot soldiers. And as his foot soldiers, our weapon is nothing but the pen. So when you say I can't write, there are so many complaints. The common complaints are, I can't write. Are you saying you're an illiterate? I can't write. It presupposes that I cannot write. But you write letters, you have written assignments, so you can write. Then there are those people who say, well, I can write, but what do I write? I can write, but what do I write? There are those who, okay, well, I can write, but I hate writing. I can write, I hate writing. Why do you hate it? It is too cumbersome. I don't want to write. But there are those who will sincerely say, okay, I really love to write. I wish I can write, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do it, but I want to do it. I love to do it. I would really appreciate it if I know how to, if I knew how to do it. I can write, but I don't know how to begin. That's another common complaint. You see, my whole headache about writing, usually I don't really have a problem with writing, but how to start is the problem. How do I start? How do I open an article, an essay, any type of writing? How do I start? I really love to write, but I don't know how. I can write, but I don't know how to begin. Then you have those who just, well, I can't really figure out what to write. Yes, if I could chat with you on the phone, I can write an official letter, but when it comes to personal information, when it comes to expressing experiences, it is rather difficult. I can't figure out what to write. And there are those who have been writing, but who complain. Nobody has ever enjoyed what I wrote. Yes, you see, I've also been trying, I've listened to such talks before. People have encouraged us to write, and I've been writing, but I have not been enjoying, and people have not been enjoying what I presented to them. These are common complaints, and we'll continue to have them. But the simple truth is everybody can write. The moment you are literate, you can write. So the challenge is learn how to write. You can write. You can move your pen on your papers. You can think about things and put them down. But one thing to realize is when you write, remember you are writing, reading. You are not writing. What do I mean? When you write, you are writing something to be read. You are not just writing for the sake of writing. You are writing something to be read by others. So in other words, the emphasis is on the person reading. So when you are writing, you are putting yourself in the position of the person who is reading your writing. Now, what I've written, if somebody writes this for me, will I be interested? Will I be excited? Will I be attracted? Will I be convinced by what this person is writing? Is it the language? Is it the style? Is it the techniques of the mechanics of writing, or the style itself? You should focus on the interest of the reader. There are general interest writings. There are times we have to write for general purposes, but there are writings for specific audiences. For example, if I want to write something to be read by primary or secondary school students, there is a way I have to go about it. If you're writing for elites, there is a way you go about it. And of course, if you want to write for a professional class, okay, as a medical doctor, you want to discuss a medical subject with fellow medical practitioners, then you will write in the medical language. You will use such expressions that the people are familiar with. But we are talking about writing because basically our writing at this level, I mean, as AMSA, our writing is for proselytization, is for tabligh. Our writing is meant to deliver the message of Islam Ahmadiyya. That is the purpose. At least that's the purpose of this workshop. Our writing is to invite people to the truth as we understand it. Therefore, it is very important for us to understand this basic thing, that the primary thing you consider is the person reading you. So when you write reading, you don't write writing. And the first step, of course, is that you develop a habit of reading. Nobody was born with the skill of writing. Nobody was born with it. You can write if you read. Because if you have developed the habit of reading, over time, it becomes a part of you. You have read different styles. And when you start writing, of course, you're not going to be a perfect writer. In fact, nobody is ever a perfect writer. You cannot be a good writer on the same day. It comes with practices, constant practice. It comes with effort. It comes with reflection to assess yourself to you. And often we have problems with writings that come as assignments. We're still going to talk about that. But we are talking about writing to deliver the message of Islam. We are talking about writing to communicate the divine message. You have read books written by the scholars of the Jamaat. Read books written by scholars who are not members of the Jamaat. Also read books written by non-Muslims. Things on religion. See how different religious ideas have been communicated. see how the kind of style they have used in communicating religious principles, and your own style. If you're a good reader, your own style will naturally evolve. Attempt to discuss some of these ideas with people. In fact, the best writers often share their thoughts with their colleagues or with the students in class. They just discuss, and from those you have an opportunity of clarifying those thoughts through such discussions. Because if you can speak, you can write. There are so many people who will say, you see, I can say it, but I don't know how to put it down. The moment when I put it down, I don't like what I've put down. There are people who are haunted by previous experiences that are bad. So it is for you to reflect on yourself. Some people shun or hate writing. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why? Why do they shun it? Why do they try to avoid it? Some have unpleasant experiences. Like some of these experiences have created hatred for writing, fear of writing, or apprehension towards writing because of the experience of maybe failing a school assignment, or at work you are given an assignment, you are tasked with the responsibility of writing and you have not written well, and you become embarrassed. People have booed you, people have derided you. As a result, you run back to your shell. Most people are forced to write. Very few people just decide to write. Most of us write because we have been commissioned to write, either by our bosses at places of work, or whether it's a school requirement. So motivation for writing varies. School assignments, vocational requirements, you want to write a request, complaints and protests, or business writing, because as a businessman, it is compulsory for you to write. Friend, you want to write to somebody you love. What makes good writing? What makes good writing? One, you must have something to say. Good writing takes having something to say. If I have no idea to communicate, if I have nothing to, for example, those of us who are writing for proselytism, who we want to preach, thereby we must have sound knowledge of what we want to preach. That subject matter, the thing you want to say, the thing you want to communicate, the idea you want to pass across, you must understand it. Then you must have clear and logical thinking. This is one of the most important areas where people have problems. Clear and logical thinking looks vague, but sounds attractive, but it's vague. What is clarity? What is logical thinking? We're talking about something that is clear to such an extent that anybody with basic education, if anybody with basic education reads it, he or she understands it. Logical thinking, is it well arranged? Does it not contradict itself? Is the language clear enough? Clarity of expression. Because it is clear and logical thinking that leads to clarity of expression. Your expression becomes clear when your thinking is clear. And you shouldn't be scared. Just approach writing as a craft. It is something that can be learned. Don't ever think some people were born with it. Some may have the aptitude, but it is a craft primarily, and you can learn it. The only art of writing that may not totally be a craft is poetry. Poetry can come as a gift, as an inspiration, but poetry can also be learned. You can learn to become a poet, and you develop poetry. But the prolific poet who produces poetry at every instance is most of the time that one is inborn. It's in kind of natural aptitude towards poetry, but it can be learned, but not like the free prose. That it is possible for anyone to write without too much stress. I insist also that it is possible for you to figure out what you really mean. I mean, there are basic things you can do to know exactly what you mean. It is possible for you to also know what you want to say and to put it clearly on paper. These things are possible with simple, basic self-appraisal. What do I want to say? And asking yourself at the end of it, have I said it? Go through again, have I really said it? I mean, have I really passed across the information I set out? When I set out to pass across, to say what you, a lot of things, how the journey is completed. If you are able to say exactly what you really mean. You know, many a time when we are discussing and you say something and you say, you guys are not understanding me. When people respond, when you get the feedback, you discover that you have been misunderstood. You repackage your thoughts to say it again. People tell you the same thing. Or from their response, you get to know that they don't really understand what you have said. It means that you have not communicated what you mean. And that's why you yourself have to be clear about what you really mean. One of three, you achieve three things. You are able to portray your inner world. You are able to bring your readers into your own social, personal universe. Your own psychosocial universe becomes visible. People know how you think, and many a time what to expect from you. People who have been reading you because they have been able to peep into your inner world. Then secondly, your reader connects with you. So many of us have not met Soyinka, Achebe, and the rest. Some of us have not met the great writers among Nigerian journalists. But if you have read them consistently, you connect with them. You start feeling you have actually met them because you have encountered them in your subconscious mind. And the greatest prize you get as a writer is when your writing affects. If your reader changes his or her attitude because of you, okay, we are passing the message of Islam Ahmadiyya, and somebody decides as a result of reading what you have written, okay, go deeper research. That is good. If somebody says, oh, I'm going to learn it is interesting, you have created an attitude tilt in the person. Or the biggest prize, somebody as a result of what you have written decides to take the bay'ah. Wow, that's your greatest prize. You have actually won a soul. So when you effect a tilt in the attitude of others, then you are an effective writer. So that is what is called effective writing, because it brings about an effect. Now, if you want to be a good writer, you have to clear the phobias you have. In writing, they are like alien forces in the subconscious universe of the individual. For a student, it could be teacher, the school, your boss at your place of work, or in the Jamaat, particularly among the popular writers, mask. These guys will find fault in what I've written. So many are not contributing to mask because they're afraid of making mistakes. The people who are going to are not monsters to impede you or to even shut you up. They are just your friends or your brothers. You can even ignore them. Think about the recipient, the readers, the receiver of your message. Don't think about the edits. Details. If you work in a newspaper house, you see the processes where you submit story, it goes from to the proofreaders. The proof is again to it goes to the sub editors. Continuous screen. Even at the end of the day, when the newspaper comes out, you still see a lot of fault because that is human. So it is for you to ignore all these phobias, shun the phobia, move ahead. Right. That is the important thing. Clear all these things. The teachers will complain, and my friends will make jest of me. It does not matter. Put your ideas on paper. And when you put your ideas on paper, what do you do next? Now understand that writing can be approached through two mentalities. These two mentalities for writing. One, the first one, saying, yeah, that is a fertile, inventive, cheerful mentality that helps you come up with lots of words and ideas. The positive mentality, it creates a lot of words. It excites you. But you also have the mentality, critical mentality that helps you critique, cut, and revise what you have. That feeling that this thing I put down is not enough. Criticize this, criticize that. These two mentalities often get just way. The first one is the skill to get your ideas across. That go ahead and tell us what is. Tell us exactly what you want to do and do it. And of course, step 4, rewrite. Ask yourself, have I put down my thoughts? Have I put down my thoughts? Have I communicated the ideas? Look at the thoughts you have arranged, the ones you have selected. Are they all incorporated in my writing? Do they excite me? If you, or this article, does it excite me? If you write and you are not excited, if somebody else child asked him, Adam Spurgeon was one of the greatest American speakers and writers. He was an orator and he was a great writer. Somebody asked him, how do I become a great writer like you? He said, take a bucket of gasoline, pour it down on yourself, get a box of matches, set yourself ablaze. People will come and watch you burn. It says, if your writing does not excite you, if it does not impress you, don't expect it to impress others. So try to go through what you have written. Go through it. If it does not excite you, then there is a problem. You know that it's unlikely to excite others. Check it over and over. Remove things that do not help. Prune down the expressions where they are too long. If you correct where there are errors, make sure it is clear enough. Okay, if I listen to this, there are times some of us write a paragraph length sentence. It's only one sentence, but it has the length of a paragraph. We make it compound. Your reader gets sentences. Occasionally, you may have complex, you may have compound, but let the majority of expressions put together be crafted in simple sentences. It communicates your ideas better, and it makes it easy for you to evaluate yourself and ask, have I really passed on the idea? Then edit for facts. Have I edit for facts, for grammar and style? Okay, have I said something that cannot be justified? Check your Quranic verses, your quotations, the hadiths, your quotations from other sources. Check, make sure they're fine, they are okay. Check for grammar, your tenses, your cases. Check the mood, check the style. If it is only when you do this that you can succeed as a writer. Above all, always try, after you might have finished this writing, I have a practice, after I might have finished the writing, I now have a practice of trying to write a summary. If I put down the summary and go back to the main thing, if the summary does not capture the main writing, or if it seems to be different from, if there is a disconnection between the summary and the main writing, then there is a problem in the way I have put forth my ideas. So we should practice. That is the only thing that helps. Practice, practice, practice. Don't give us, I have some brothers who will go and memorize words from the dictionary. You don't do that. There is nothing wrong in having strong vocabularies, but the emphasis in writing is on understanding. Your emphasis should be on understanding. Let your writing be understood. So you want to tell me the eastern part of Nigeria is dominated by Christianity. One lawyer wrote that. He wanted to say the eastern part of Nigeria is dominated by Christianity. He said the claim of ecclesiastical. Tell me, okay, there is a concatenation of events, series of events, period, and it's simple. You are not interested in your verbose language. Nobody is interested in that. There is one popular Nigerian politician, what do you call it, who says a lot of things. Some of these things you find them in the dictionary, but in reality, he does not communicate. So, and he has been turned into a comedian. People will invite him, even during media chats, they invite him to come and entertain them, because that's what he is, because he's not communicating. So it's just provoking laughter. And that's what people use it for. And it is different. And that is the reason why our take home is right to express, not to impress. Right to express, not to impress. And in reality, you will only impress fools when you write big words. But when you write to express, wise men and women will be impressed. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Jazakallahu khairan, Hassan Jazasa. We do really appreciate, and in fact, it's more like it took us back to the class of intro to news gathering, and in fact, I really enjoyed, and I hope each and every one of us learned one or two things. And I think the right time to begin is now. So let's begin. And there's no time. So those of us procrastinating, saying, okay, I'm going to write tomorrow. Look, I will start later. I think the lecture delivered by our doctor has given us that required start, that kick to start. So let's begin and let's start, writing as expected of us. We pray may Almighty Allah continue to be with our doctor, and may he continue to be his strength, bismillahi ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan, sir. Yes. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think there's going to be a question and answer, but before then, there is this. Hello, are you with me, everyone? Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, one sounds like I got to go with you.
Now, the next program here is the video, is it documentary on Muhammad, the most, let me get that correctly. Okay, the influential, yes. Is the influential personnel about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So let's just start the video.
In 1978, Michael Hart compiled a list of the 100 most influential people in human history. His book sold over 500,000 copies and was translated into 15 different languages. Hart's book features descriptions of the careers, contributions and accomplishments of the political and religious leaders. He also includes world-class inventors, writers, artists and others who changed the course of human history. We're out here in London to see if the public can guess who's number one.
Is it Lincoln? Abraham Lincoln?
No.
Martin Luther King, definitely.
Einstein.
Jesus, the Buddha, Gandhi. I'll say Beyonce.
Yeah, Martin Luther King, I guess.
King Faisal.
King Faisal?
Yes, Saudi Arabia.
Sure.
For me, myself, it would be someone like Richard Branson or something.
I might have gone for a scientist though, like Newton or somebody like that.
Someone said about this particular individual was that he was a philosopher, orator, apostle, legislator, warrior. He established peace, happiness, justice, conqueror of ideas, restorer of rational dogmas. Napoleon had said that if this person's principles were followed, it could lead men to happiness. The founder of 20 terrestrial empires and of one spiritual empire.
I can't think who that is. I have no idea.
So far, no one's been able to guess the right answer. So we're going to reveal who's number one and see people's reactions.
Muhammad, he's the founder of Islam.
Oh, Muhammad! Wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, Muhammad.
All right.
Muhammad. Muhammad is the most influential person according to this book.
My choice of Muhammad to lead a list of the world's most influential persons
may surprise some readers and may be questioned by others.
But he was the only man in history who was supremely successful on both religious and secular levels.
empires in history were based on Islam. So the Umayyad and the Abbasid, they were the ones. Baghdad is where they kept all the Western knowledge while the West was in the Dark Ages.
I know that, the teachings of Muhammad and the religion of Islam has had tremendous impact on people and on peace, really.
Possibly as a founder of one of the most successful religions to have happened in the last 1,500 years.
Well, he did bring groundbreaking ideas, not just to the Arab Peninsula, but all over, like new different rights, new visions of how you should organize property and things like that.
And it is the second biggest religion around and is the fastest growing. And for someone who was around for such a short period to be able to influence the world in such a way.
If you can be able to, get behind somebody's belief, because people really hold on to that and influence that for generations and generations and have a decent following, then of course you're a person of influence, and Muhammad has done that tremendously well.
Like and subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more videos from the review of religions.
Yeah, Jazakallah khairan. I think that's the end of that video. So we'd like to take questions and answers now. Please, if you have questions, kindly signify. The MC, you can help us coordinate that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I'm going to start with before we allow people to ask questions via the audio channel, we are going to start with the questions already available in the chat. So the first question was that the person said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I thank Allah for joining this writing cafeteria, as reading is a must for writing. I wish Dr. Sahib can touch a bit on effective reading. And the comment ends there. So I don't know if Dr. Sahib would like to address the questions one by one, or we're just going to address, ask them all at once, and then you answer them all at once. So
I think it will save time when we get all the questions together, so he answers it once and for all.
All right.
Yes, please.
All right. So that's the first question. I'm going to read the comments again. The person said, Assalamu alaikum. I thank Allah for joining this writing cafeteria. As reading is a must for writing, I wish Dr. Sahib can touch a bit on effective reading. So that was the first question.
Okay, that's the first question. All right.
Okay, and I think that was the only one in the comments. So other people who have questions should please unmute themselves one by one, and
yeah, they can use
okay, all right, no problem, to avoid confusion. Yes. And yeah, that's true. So please type your questions in the chat box. So we're going to, I'm sure Dr. Said will be able to read them. So if you have questions, please type them in the chat box.
I think that's a good way to start writing ordinarily, right?
Yeah, effective reading. Thank you, sir. So from Brother Ibrahim Sulaiman, for students generally, how best is it to begin writing? For students generally, how best is it to begin writing? So that's the second question of the day.
The questioner said he would want you to touch more on critical reading.
On reading, right? Yeah.
Yes.
What? On reading?
Yes, reading, exactly, sir. Reading.
Yeah, the person stressed
reading.
on effective reading.
Yes. Yeah, effective reading. What? Reading community of specialization under communication arts. Effective reading is a necessary prelude to effective writing. And because of that, it is indeed necessary that we talk about reading. I actually didn't talk about it. I just said, okay, a good writer reads, a good writer should read, because in reality, what you are writing is a piece to be read. But to be an effective writer, you have to be a very good reader also. And over the years, scholars have come up with different strategies for reading effectively. The most popular one is the SQ3R. That's the most popular one. It's a reading method which has actually worked for some people. SQ3R. That is SQ and RRR. S stands for survey. Q stands for question. R, read. The second R, recite. And the third R, review. So you begin a new chapter by skimming the material, get a feel for the main topics and ideas in the text. This is also called the pre-reading techniques. You want to read a book, for instance, you are advised to read the first chapter, read the first 2 paragraphs of the remaining chapters, and read the conclusion. You have a general overview of the contents. If you are talking about articles, they will say, okay, you read the first paragraph, the first and the last paragraphs, read the first 2 sentences of the other paragraphs. If you're reading a long article, that gives you an idea before you, and it will assist you in raising questions. That comes to Q, in raising questions. These questions that you raise in your mind, you start looking for answers within the text you are reading. And of course, and after then you now read the whole thing. And because there is a difference between reading and recite, after reading, you recite, read aloud, so that as you engage your eyes and your mind when reading, you also engage your ears, so you hear what you are reading. And it's often very effective. People who have attempted a recitation after reading will attest to this, because there are times you continue hearing your own voice, because one, you had read it, your eyes and your mind have registered it. Now when you recite, your ear too registers, so you remember more. I mean, you remember better than somebody who has not recited. Now after having recited, you review. Try to capture what you have read. In fact, put down what you think you understand, and you now cross-check with the main thing. So it allows your heart to retain. It gives you the opportunity of feeling the content of those things you have read. So that's a very good, is the most popular one. But there are other methods like the skimming method, scanning, active reading. But the one that I've found very effective for students really is the SQ3R. But this actually depends on individual temperaments. So it is good to read, and when you read, you understand when you use the SQ3R. But okay. The question, let me see the second question. Okay, I've yet the next question. Okay, regarding writing articles related to Hadith and Quran, is it always best to write the quotations in Arabic, as commonly seen in scholarly work? It does not add any value. It adds value. That's depends on the audience. It depends on the target audience. If he says it doesn't have value, there is. I would not expect that coming from one of us anyway, because we live in an environment where people sort of deify Arabic language. I mean, they apotheosize it, give it a divine status. Of course, it has a divine status because it's in the language of the divine text. But in our own social universe, if you are writing in Europe or America, for instance, about Islam, just write the translation in English. You are okay. Here, people will want to know why the exact words that are used in the text you are quoting. So you quote in Arabic and English. That is if you understand Arabic. That is if you understand Arabic and English anyway. If you have access, I would not expect somebody who cannot recite the Quran in Arabic, giving us an Arabic quotation, which he cannot read. Because if you're not going to read it, but it is your audience that actually determines your style. If you are writing elites who are just an interfaith elite that are non-Muslim, they just write the translations in English and discuss the context. But if you are writing Muslim scholars, particularly in quoting Hadith, if you are writing Muslim scholars, it is better for you, and in fact, it's more pragmatic to quote the Arabic and the English, because we will always context the translations. So if you quote in Arabic, if I feel your translation or the translation you have used is wrong, I can take you up on it and say, no, this translation is wrong. So it will have affected your conclusions. So don't say it doesn't add value. It adds value, but it is not really necessary for general writing or general readers. However, if the intention is to teach, there are so many materials. Okay, some of you can recite the Quran very well, yet you do not understand Arabic language. But you recite the Quran very well with tajweed, and people think, yes, this person is a scholar, but yet you do not understand Arabic language at all. It's an opportunity of teaching students, whether young or old, who are reading. So if I quote an hadith for you in Arabic and give you the translation, you can memorize the hadith and discuss it, and you sound like an authority. So it really adds value. Yes, can you kindly suggest ways by which we can improve our grammar to make our writings more compelling and expressive? Also, sir, what are the most efficient methods by which one can learn new languages? Yeah, you want to learn grammar, you learn grammar. Today, the present generation is particularly lucky because there are so many online resources to teach us grammar. Grammar is better taught at the primary school level. It's better taught at the primary school level and at the secondary school level. Nobody learns grammar at the university. When you get to the university, you only attain fluency. So if you are coming with bullets from the primary school, you carry it to the university. That's why you see even a lot of professors speaking or writing with very poor grammar. It's an attitude that have been developed over time. So, but if there are practical ways of learning grammar online, there are so many resources. Just avail yourself of the opportunities given by our, what do you call it, by ICT at this period, and you will never regret it. Yes, somebody is saying I've missed this question. Let me see. What is the question?
Yeah, the question was that how best to doing writing.
What?
That was his question. How best?
What's
His
the
question was that how best is it to begin writing? So I guess he's trying to
how best
is it to begin writing?
All this is actually varies from person to person, but I've given you an example of how it is done in many schools of journalism. A writer writes. You want to develop writing skills. It is for you. It is for you to first tell yourself you want to be a writer. If you're interested in writing, you write. Regardless of whether you are very good or not, you write. And I suggested what was suggested to us when we were in school. We were asked to keep a diary. Keep a diary and write every day. At the end of every day, before you sleep, write and make sure that you do not write less than 8 paragraphs. You can write more. You can write 100 paragraphs if you like. You can, if you, for example, if you watched a film during the day, write it and don't just say, I watched a film. Write everything you watched in that film. Write that story. That is what helps you. It helps, it assists you. It trains your mind to retain information, to recall information. Things you have watched, you are able to now think about it and put it down in writing. However long it's going to be, write it. Describe scenes you watched in the film during the day. Describe scenes of what happened during the day when you went out, things that happened, or if you attended an event. Describe all of these will assist you in developing an aptitude for writing. You write regularly, and because you have made it a daily routine, not the adulterated shorthand we use in diaries, and you just write, I was to so place to. No, that's not for somebody. That's for the general diary user. But for someone who wants to develop writing skills, your diary is serving 2 purposes. It's serving the purpose of a diary, and it is also serving the purpose of a writing training ground.
Okay, the next question, the person is asking, the person said, please give us an advice on using AI tools while writing. Advice on using artificial intelligence tools
while writing.
Yeah, AI.
I mean, using AI tools while writing. I don't understand what it means by using AI tools. Because if AI will assist you in writing, that teaches you, that will prevent you from being a very good writer. Because the only AI, I belong to the analog generation. The only AI tool I'm familiar with is ChatGPT, and while it is helpful for someone while it is helpful for someone at work, it does not help you in developing your skills, because the AI tool, you are not helping yourself. A student, particularly in writing, it is better for you to go through the rigors of writing yourself. Go through the rigor, work hard, develop it. And when you actually get to the workspace and it becomes necessary for you to use AI because of the workload, it will not be because you are not good. You have actually paid your dues. You have tried to become a good writer. You can, your AI tool can give you something and you can say, no, this is not what I want. But you will never be able to discover that because you are not good. You have not been able to develop yourself. So I will advise you, don't, I mean, the intention of those who put it together is to make things easier, but it makes, that is the positive thing, but it also destroys your creativity. It destroys your creativity and prevents you from being productive, literally. I mean, literary productivity has to do with constant practice, constant effort. So, thank you very much.
All right, sir. Jazakumullah khairan.
Somebody is asking how he can overcome lazy attitude in writing. Stop being lazy. Nobody's going to do it for you. Just tell yourself, I have to do it. No, but that's why I said a wise man, a truly wise person is one who does what he should, even if he doesn't want to do it. But you know you should do it. So go ahead and do it, even if it is painful. Do it and it will develop. Like somebody said, I've written a couple of times on papers, yeah, I've never found my writing convincing enough. How can I attain satisfaction in my writing? First, give someone else to read. If they are satisfied, if they are satisfied, or if they tell them to critically assess it for you, or even if you have a lecturer or a senior person like a lecturer in the Department of English or Mass Comm, I mean, or an experienced writer, ask them to critique it for you. If they are satisfied with it and you are not satisfied, don't worry, just continue writing. You are only being a perfectionist. And when a perfectionist like Barry Sabaju now, is hardly satisfied with what he has written. Is hardly satisfied because you see that he has written something very brilliant. Attitude of perfectionism that is not making you derive satisfaction from what you're reading, from what you have written. But let others assess you. No editor edits himself. Is there really a difference between writing with a pen and paper and typing on phone or tab and apps like that? Yes. Like Google Sheet and keep. For a beginner, is there? For a beginner, write with your pen. You see, we have destroyed the pen, and when you destroy the pen, you destroy knowledge. There is a connection between your knowledge. There is a connection between your knowledge and between your brain and your fingers with which you hold your pen. So don't ever allow all these things, apart from handwriting. The Philately organization is complaining seriously because letter writing has collapsed and creativity has collapsed with it. And from experience, you will discover that what you write with your hand is easier to recall and recollect than what you type. So it is better for you. Write. Of course, you're going to have a lot of rough sheets. Write, cancel, write. It's a normal thing. Write, cancel it, write it again and cancel it, and gradually you will master the art of writing. Then you can develop more on the typing on your phone or on your tab or your laptop. But that is just like drawing. When you can draw online, you can draw online. Sorry, you can draw on your gadgets and whatever. Yet you will discover that it can never assist you as an artist unless you draw with your pen or pencil. That is why the pencil has been created and the pen has been created. You know the parable of the pencil. There's a popular Chinese parable pencil, incidents of thoughts. Incidentally, it also appeared in the medieval Islam, in medieval Islamic history, in the writings of Jahiz. It also narrated the story, and you want to know, you start wondering who took from whom. At that time, the Arabs had not gotten to China, and the ancient Chinese have not come into the Arab world. And here was an Arab scholar who lived all his life in the Arab world, writing something very, very similar. He said in the beginning, the maker of the pencil made the pencil and said, you are going into the world to effect, you are going into the world to serve my purpose. The first thing is that you have to, when you get into the world, realize that you will only be successful if you, as a pencil, you will only be successful if you allow yourself to be held in the hand of someone. 2, he said, the task number 2, you will experience painful sharpening at all times. You will experience painful sharpening at all times. From time to time, you will experience painful sharpening. Number 3, you will always have an opportunity of correcting yourself. When you make a mark and it's not right, you can correct yourself. 4, you must always leave a mark wherever you pass. And number 5, what is inside of you will always be better than what is outside of you. So that is the parable of the pencil. Now, if you replace the pencil with a man, you will only be successful if you allow yourself to be held in the hand of Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. If you allow yourself to be guided as our hands guide the pencil in writing. From time to time, you will be successful as a man if you be successful as a man if you realize the fact that you will experience painful sharpening, trials and tribulations at all times. Number 3, you should know that you will always make mistakes, and you will have an opportunity of erasing those mistakes and correcting yourself. Number 4, you should also try as a man to make positive impression, make a mark wherever you go, make positive impression on the people wherever you are. And number 5, make sure that what is within you is always better than what is without. It is better to have a beautiful heart, beautiful soul, and dirty clothes than having rotten soul, rotten heart, rotten mind, and beautiful clothes. Salaam alaikum. How can one who can write very well find it difficult in expressing what he creates? Let's have another workshop on public speaking. Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Well, I think the AMSA president will take note of that for public speaking. So I think we are gradually winding down as far as this program is concerned. So, but before we go to the next program on the agenda, I would like the MC to please make recognition of some dignitaries that have joined us online. Please go ahead.
Jazakumullah khairan, sir. So while Dr. Sahib was answering our questions and while was delivering his lecture, we were honored by the presence of Brother or Sir, apologies, Sir Abdulkadir Abdulrafir. So it was the former Sadar Majlis Fulam Rahmadiyya. So he always makes sure to attend our programs whenever we invite him. So please, sir, if you are with us, please say salam to the house, sir. Please say salam to the house. Yeah, one salam to Ragazzi, sir. Yeah.
I cannot miss a lecture by my teacher. So even if I was not invited, I would actually be in this meeting, and I always enjoy listening to my teacher, especially on this topic. He has been a motivator, but some of us have we are more into formal writing, and though he is a motivator, and he keeps pushing us to be better writers. So thank you very much for this program. I appreciate the leadership of AMSA and everybody, and I pray that God Almighty will assist us in all we do. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, Jazakumullah khairan, sir. Thank you very much
So,
for
MC,
honoring us with your presence. Yes, sir.
Yeah, kindly, let's just do it this way. Let's use a stone to kill two birds. So while
Okay,
we
sir.
call them for the recognition now, they can just quickly take their
Just
brief
remarks.
comments and remarks. Yes.
Yeah, all right, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, please, sir Abdulkadir, unless you are on the podium, so Ejo, please, your remarks sir, about our program and everything, sir.
Yeah, I've said it. It's a very nice program. I appreciate all the organizers, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to be with us and assist us in all we do. We pray that He would be with our leaders, and it's a good one. I really appreciate this session. It's a refresher to some of us to what our teachers have been teaching us, and it's also a sort of a motivation for us to also continue to write and write more effectively. You know, learning never stops. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I pray God will continue to be with us. Jazakumullah khair.
Barakallahu feekum, sir. Jazakallah, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the Noib are southeast.
Oh, okay. It's the one online now.
Yeah, it's the one online. Please, if you can hear us, if you are with us, please say salam to the house, sir, for recognition. Yeah, one salam to Ragazzi. Yeah, thank you for joining us, sir. Please give us your remarks sir, about the program and your thoughts generally.
I can only say Jazakumullah khaira for this wonderful program. And we have learned a lot, just like we usually learn. Thanks to this Jama, Alhamdulillah, we are Ahmadis, and then we have a lot of platform to continue to develop ourselves. So Jazakumullah khaira for everyone involved who have bring this program to existence. We ask Allah to continue to assist every one of us. And be with us. Jazakumullah khairan.
Barakallahu feekum. Jazakallah khairan, sir. Now we have to take the comment from our special guest that was invited, and I would like to start with the first person on the list as given to me, Malim Abbas Agbaji, as the chairman, Majlis Sultan Kolam, Nigeria. So your brief and a quick comment, sir. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. It's been very exciting and refreshing to listen to Dr. Saeed Timei. And I think that if truly a lot of our AMSA members have listened to Dr. Timei, I think we should start experiencing some kind of personal transformation in how we express ourselves when we write. I know very well that I've listened to him speak on similar subjects over the years, and I believe that it's been very fruitful with how people like myself have worked to enhance our written communication skills. And therefore, this is a very good event. This is a very good event, I must say. In particular, my role as the chairman of MASC, I'm quite very pleased because one of the key challenges we have with respect to MASC is the quality of articles that brothers submit. We see that a lot of brothers have, they have the zeal to want to write on many diverse topics. However, we've noticed over the years the struggle many have had when it comes to writing, and these become explicit when we have editorial reviews, and we see that a brother that has painstakingly put together a piece gets his article returned to him for revision or outright down rejection because of the quality of the piece. I know that just like Dr. Timei said, no one was made a writer. We all came into this world tabula rasa, which means that you can fill your mind, with all the niceties of writing principles if you dedicate yourself to it. And just like Doctor said, no matter how good a lecture you have listened to is, no matter how nice the seminars, the webinars, the workshops you've attended, if you don't write, you can't become a better writer. And surprisingly, because I've always think I'm busy, but just when I was listening to this presentation by Dr. Saab, I wrote a poem, and I've just sent the poem to the Secretariat of MASC. So it tells us something that, we should be inspired to write. Our model should be the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam. Imagine if the promised Messiah has not written the books that he wrote. What sort of guidance would we have? There are many more people in the world that need this guidance, which is what Majlis Ansar Sultan and Kalam stands out for. Our goal is to get the message of the promised Messiah, the message of Islam, the message of Al-Quran to the nooks and crannies of the world. And we can't do this without AMSA, because already the two are supposed to be AMSA students, because they call them the jihadists of the pen, who should be in that better position to actually support the cause of MASC. So I'm hoping that all the AMSA members that are on this call are already members of MASC. If not, this is the time for you to join MASC, right? It's a lifetime duty for everyone, and I pray Allah make it easy for us. So if you have articles, MASC is ever ready. And this is one way for you to actually even improve your writing. We have editors that would review and give you feedback, and over time you see yourself improve and grow. May Allah make it easy. Jazakallah khairan for this important event. Inshallah, MASC would collaborate with AMSA and other stakeholders to sort of also organize another sort of workshop that would help refine our skills and get us better over time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khairan, Malim Agbaje Sahib. The next I would like to call is Barrister Muhammad Bashir Badru, the National Tabligh Secretary, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Nigeria. Bismillah, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Walaikum
barakatuh.
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah. Well, alhamdulillah that we are able to participate at this very important event. I think I picked from the word of Missionary Abbas Agbaje. Our model should be the promised Messiah alayhi salam. Sometimes I wonder, what else would this individual, what were they actually doing other than writing? Because I can't imagine myself writing 85 books, and some of these books are running into volumes. I can't imagine it. So then it means that aside writing, the Prophet ﷺ must have been a very voracious reader. He reads and reads and reads. See, before you can write a page, they must have read 40 pages. Yes, except you want to copy. If you are not copying, begin to read. Read and read over and over. Read and read over and over. Then your idea will begin to build. Then you begin to see, yeah, you have something in mind before. Now you have gotten a book that will try to shape it for you. Then that is when you begin to write. Don't be ashamed of what you have written. Just write. Yeah, it will be butchered. It will be criticized. Yes, doesn't matter. But you won't pick it from where you were. You will pick it from the corrections and you keep going. If you do not get discouraged, if you don't discourage yourself, then you will become a good writer in no time. That is, if you put your mind at it. I want to thank AMSA for giving us this opportunity to learn again from the great mentor, Dr. Said Olurotimitime. May Allah continue to strengthen him, and may Allah continue to help us all. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakumullah khairan for this beautiful submission, sir. All right, so let's take that of Dr. Taufik Lawal, senior lecturer at the Barakwa Polytechnic, Erua.
Okay, yeah, the vote of thanks would be delivered by Brother Abdul Hakim Mustafa, is the AMSA National Secretary.
All right,
so
please. We should go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, who is considered the incredible power of thank you? Those two words expresses gratitude, humility, understanding, as well as acknowledgement. There is a phrase I'm sure everyone knows, that it takes a village to raise a child. In this case, it is not a child that has been raised, but awareness and an award for a long-needed community. I, on behalf of the entire executives of AMSA Nigeria, express our profound gratitude to all special guests and the general audience. A very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for gracing their important work and sharing with us your feelings and opinions with us today. I believe that our diverse and dynamic guest of honor and lecturer have provided in-depth insights as well as tools of engagement that could be utilized to aid true devoutness. Your presence has helped to make this event an enormous success, and your enthusiasm and positive spirits helped make our time together both productive and fun. We wish you all the best and hope that you continue to be engaged with the association. May Allah Ta'ala continue to strengthen you, sirs. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, General Secretary Sahab, for the closing remarks, for the vote of thanks. Now I will be taking the closing remarks. We say Jazakumullah khairan to everyone, our facilitator, in person of Dr. Saritime and all other distinguished guests that has actually, that we've drank from their wealth of experiences, as the case may be. Well, I would just say that when we look at it from the entirety of what Ahmadiyya is all about, we find out that we are equipped already with everything to leave this world successfully and to meet the hereafter in a better person. And I remember vividly that it's still one of the things that has been encouraged, that we should always ensure that we write letter to the Khalifa. May Almighty Allah continue to be his helper. And one of the things, when we look at the theme of today's lecture, and when you look at every other activities that we're encouraged to do in the Jamaat, you find out that it's actually easy for us. I could remember also that at the point in time, they were encouraged us that we should write the letter with our pen. We ensure that we should write it with our pen. So if you are somebody who has actually been writing letter to Uzu, frequently, over the time, you will learn some certain things which are basic, based on what Dr. Sarit May had actually said. And the first one is that you will learn how to manage words. They will tell you that, okay, this is the guideline on how to write this thing. So you manage words. So in mass communication, generally, we don't waste words, both on air and even, while you're writing for print, because every word counts, and space and air also matters in this thing. So you learn to manage your words, and at the same time, it improves your summary skills as well. Over the time, you find out that, okay, you have a lot of things you want to tell Uzu, but then you have a guideline on how to write it. Before you know it, you write it, and you find a way of saying what you want to say in few sentences and what have you, and you've gotten what you want to do. So when you do that often and often, then you find out that you are getting better over the time. So it is proposed, AMSA President, please take note that that of public speaking, I think that one too is needed. We have a lot of people who can write but are very shy. And we have some people who can speak, but they are not that good with their pen. Also, I would like to say here that myself and the AMSA President probably we are going to reach the final conclusion on this particular program that I've discussed with him. And that's on the use of your phones, to create wealth for yourself in terms of video editing, having the video coverage and editing it. So you can use your phones. Many of us are using phones worth of thousands, and they are doing magics. So you don't have to get camera that is quite expensive, camera of 1.5 million or 2.5 million naira to achieve or actualize some certain things. So this there's a seminar that is going to come up also as far as this is concerned. So by the time we finished, we fine tune everything, myself and the AMSA President, then we'll come up with something. And the guest speaker had spoken with him too. He said he can actually do online too. I think that would be fine. You can take it for 2 or 3 days. So inshallah, so Almighty Allah would assist us in this regard as well. So in conclusion, Jazakumullah khairan to everybody. And I pray that Almighty Allah continue to be our helper. So let's take the closing prayer, please. Surah Al-Fatiha, Salatu ala Nabi. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع الدعاء السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.